Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of plant tourism by visiting the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. They've got a butterfly show that I wanted to check out. So as always, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you are hitting that like button and also subscribing to my channel with notifications on. I also have an Instagram at Grow Folds if you want to connect with me. I post other content on my Instagram as well. But as you guys can see, I am about to walk into the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. I love going here just because year after year, they have something new, and I absolutely love the Japanese garden. But anyways, we have walked into the Fort Worth Botanical Garden Conservatory. So they always have different types of shows. They had an orchid show last year, and this year they're doing a butterfly show. So you can see there are a bunch of butterflies fluttering around. I don't know all of the butterfly species, but I did want to just showcase a couple of the beautiful tropical plants that they have at this conservatory. I've been to this conservatory multiple times. I at least go once a year. I've been living out in North Dallas for a good while now, and you know, it's just really exciting to see that they have a conservatory as gorgeous as this. Look at these butterflies right over here. They've got some fruit, so apparently, you know, butterflies like fruit. I believe it's because they like that sugar. And you can see there's a bunch of lantana right over here. Now, these lantana aren't in full bloom yet. I actually planted a bunch of lantana out in my landscape. And for those that are just tuning in to this video, I hope you stick around and stay just because there's some bonus features here. And you can see right over here, I love showing you guys what these tropical plants that we often see at my big box store plant shopping videos. They're mature versions. So this is an Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue pothos. So you can see in nature or just out in the wild, they like to go climb up trees. And you can see that this Cebu blue pothos is starting to fenestrate. Look at that gorgeous scene over here with all of these large foliage plants. Look at how mature this one is. I'm not sure what that particular plant is, but I did want to show you that. And we're gonna walk over here and take a look at some of the other plants here. There's some more beautiful butterflies. Like, what do you think of all the butterflies, my plant foldies? And if you are new to this channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. I hope that you also participate in the live premiere chat if you are watching this live. If not, also feel free to leave comments, timestamps of any plants that you like, any questions that you have. I will respond to every single comment that is placed on my videos. And anyways, you can see here, this is another butterfly right over here on this gorgeous plant. I don't have the plant ID for that one. There's a lot of plant IDs I may not have here because I am just really excited to show you all of the plants that are clustered around. And you can see right over here, there's some more plants. Look at that huge bird of paradise in the background. And this stunning cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. So we see these often at like big box stores, but you can see this one is actually in bloom. It actually has gotten very tall. And look at these, that's the bloom of a cordyline tea plant. I love that pink highlight variegation that they have here. And you can see that they get very tall, somewhat leggy at the very bottom, but you know, you can start out with a cordyline tea plant from Walmart for $5.84 and get something like this. And you can see that they actually get very woody as it matures, and you know, it will get a little bit leggy just because that is really the natural growth pattern of a cordyline or a Hawaiian tea plant. I do love this a lot, and you can see that there are just gorgeous pink variegation on it. This one's got a darker foliage about it, but as the sun hits it and that light hits it, it is just illuminating those leaves. I really love that a lot. And you can see in the background there are some bird of paradise, and we've got a calathea right over here. Really like that calathea. And you can see they've got a bunch of lantana. underneath as well. So this conservatory just has a bunch of plants. Some of them are planted in the ground, some of them are in pots, and you can see here another butterfly. Now this butterfly, when it actually starts flying, is a blue one, so I'm not sure what that species is, but look at how gorgeous that butterfly just chilling in the on the floor, and all of these beautiful plants. And we haven't even like seen all of it. This is just the entrance part. Love all the natural light that's hitting this conservatory. I can see why these plants are living their best life. And it's just nice to be able to visit botanical gardens. Now, if you are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, what botanical gardens would you recommend in your area? I definitely want to do some more plant tourism and just visit more plant, parks and just conservatories like this, so I can feature them on my channel. And look at that butterfly right there. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm actually excited that I planted a bunch of lantana. Maybe I'll get a bunch of pollinators because look at that. Wow. And you can see we passed by a bunch of beautiful butterflies, and you can see there's a bunch of celosa plants right there underneath as like ground cover. And look at how tall this palm is. Isn't that insane? I love that. And I just love looking up the canopy. There's always a different way of viewing plants, top view, bottom view. Just looking from the bottom view though, it is awesome. And you can see there's a bunch of celosa plants right here. And what else do we have? We have a coffee plant, I believe, and just more plants here. I may not have as many plant IDs just because I don't want to mislabel the plants at this conservatory. So if you know the specific plant and you know that it's the accurate description, please make sure you leave it in the comments with the timestamp. But you can see here, that's another butterfly. And I would highly recommend the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. They've got a conservatory, several different types of gardens, and an amazing world-class Japanese garden at the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. So if you are going to be visiting Fort Worth or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely check this out. The ticket pricing wasn't bad. I paid $25 to get in. And you can see right here, this is a syngonium. So we talk about syngoniums in my big box videos, but look at how syngoniums will get when they are grown in the wild and they attach to it. You can see that that doesn't even look like a syngonium leaf. Like it has changed its form because it is the mature form of the syngonium. I also love the fact that I visited this conservatory on a bright sunny day, so that sun is just hitting these plants. I love all the lighting. I would say if you ever go to like a park, a conservatory, there's a certain level of peace that you get. At least this is plant therapy for me. And I just like looking at the plants, you know, breathing in that fresh, clean air that these plants have filtered. And let's see what else we have here. Some more lantana and some other plant that I'm not 100% sure what the plant ID is. But look at this right here. This is another type of palm. And you can see they've got a lot of different types of butterflies here. My commentary for this video might just be a little bit less, just because I want you guys to enjoy and, you know, take you alongside as if you were at this botanical garden. But you can see here another huge Calathea albertii. Calathea albertii. I love that underside of the leaf. That purple underside is gorgeous. And if you do go to the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens Conservatory, you will see all of these plants. I can't tell you how much more massive these plants are in person. I don't think the camera can really take all of that in. You just have to visit this actual conservatory, and you can see right here, look at this. Isn't that stunning? You can see that these plants, like this Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue pothos, has attached itself on a tree. And look at this gorgeous butterfly right here. Don't know what that butterfly species is, but I do love that gray look about it. But you can see right over here, there's a Cebu blue pothos that has just attached itself on that tree. All of those aerial roots, so you can see that this as it grows up the pole, the leaves get larger and larger and start to fenestrate. So those that don't know what that term fenestrate means, it means that it starts to get large and split its leaves. Like, look at that. That doesn't even look like the same plant when you look at the juvenile leaves, and it will continue to grow up that tree. So for all of our indoor house plants, our common house plants that you see at a big box store that we buy for like $5.48 or something of that nature, look at that, what they look like in Mother Nature, in the jungle, how they just get really large. I love that a lot. And you can see this is a croton, some type of croton right over here, maybe a croton mame, but this one has mostly predominantly green and just like dark purple leaves. And then over here, we've got some more plants, just tons and tons of plants. I can't really put all of the plant IDs, but you can see right here, this is another type of palm. They might have a nameplate here. I'm going to pan over there. So what a gorgeous looking palm as well. And here we're approaching a croton and a Calathea makoyana right here. So this croton actually does have a different type of coloration. I would say if it's gotten even more bright light, it would actually have better coloration. But you can see here more butterflies just sitting on that plant, like the fuzzy texture of the leaves of that particular plant. But if this doesn't look like a jungle to me, or to you, I wouldn't know what your imagination is for a jungle. I really like this conservatory. Like, look right over here, we got another alocasia. I think this might be an alocasia regal shields. If not, it is some type of alocasia, and you can see how massive it can get out in your landscape. You can grow alocasia out in your landscape. It just really depends on your zone. I will say they will go dormant in this in the winter and always just come back because they do grow from bulbs. And you can see here, look at this large palm tree here. And over here we've got a massive mature philodendron. You can see that the bottom part gets woody. Now, I'm not sure what this philodendron plant ID is, just because look at that. It is such a large philodendron, and I didn't capture the plant ID nameplate. I might find it and see what it is, but this is how large some of your philodendron that we grow indoors could be. The same thing with palm trees. I wish I had high ceilings like this for my home. Otherwise, I would have a full-on jungle. And then you can see over here, we've got even more plants and a bunch of butterflies just fluttering around here. You can see there's a bunch of butterflies just sitting down and just drinking some nectar. Like, look at this one right here. Gorgeous looking butterfly. One butterfly I haven't seen is a monarch butterfly. And You know, growing up as a kid, I remember seeing a bunch of monarch butterflies, but apparently monarch butterflies are considered rare butterflies, which is insane to me because when I think of butterflies, I think about monarch butterflies as being the symbol. But now it's not like we see them often. And honestly, I haven't seen a single monarch butterfly in this conservatory. So that's an interesting observation, I would say. So let me know in the comments if you see a lot of monarch butterflies. Do you think that they are rare? Because if they are, that is pretty sad, because I would hate for them to go like extinct. And you can see here more different types of plants. I just wish I had all of the plant IDs. I do recognize some lantana, and then you can see right here another butterfly like the pattern on this one. Look at that blue. And you can see here's another butterfly here. I believe the color of the butterfly when it starts to fly is blue, but you can see that the undersides of their wings kind of match like maybe bark, so they're able to be a little bit more inconspicuous, but you can see it's sitting on a coffee tree, so not so much. But look, see, there you go, there's that blue right there. Isn't that a gorgeous butterfly? And they just are living their best life here. You know, this really does remind me and mimics like what a jungle would look like. And you can see right over here, this is a gorgeous looking plant. I do like that the new leaves have a different tone to it. It's got more of an orange yellow tone, and look at how massive this tree is right here. This butterfly right here looks like it's starting to blend in with the new foliage of this tree. Look at that, and it's just chilling right there. Look at how gorgeous that butterfly is. I am really enjoying myself out in the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. This conservatory is world class, and I just love visiting it because look at all of these plants. They just really do remind me of all of the plants that we see when we go big box store plant shopping. Like this is a massive begonia of some sort. I'm not sure what type of begonia, but look at how large the leaves have gotten just being out in the landscape. And look at these beautiful, beautiful blooms of this begonia right over here. I don't even know where to pan out or show you. Just there's so many gorgeous plants here. They're massive. I guess I can show you some of the plants that are in the bottom. Look at this right here. Look at that new growth coming out of that plant. Really nice looking plant, by the way. And what else do we have over here? We've got some water, so that's some added humidity. And they just have a ton of lantana and different types of fern. They've got a hanging basket of some sort. And then this one, I'm not sure what type of monstera this is, but you can see right here, the leaves have gotten larger as it has attached on a tree and grown up a pole. So that's, look at how massive it is. It's way larger than what we could possibly grow in our homes, but that's what it looks like in the natural state in the wild. That might be some type of, I don't know what, I know that it's some type of monstera. I'm just not sure what type, but you can see here they've got even more large trees, and all of the trees have some type of epiphyte or some type of like aroid or philodendron that would just grow up of the pole. And you can see here there's another one growing up. I'm not sure if that is a Cebu blue pothos. You can see that they are coexisting, and this might actually be some type of monstera as well. But you can see that all of these leaves have gotten massive because the aerial roots have just attached itself, so it's able to get more nutrients. And you know, when you think of fenestrating, the reason why plants fenestrate or have holes is because when it grows up the tree, it gives way for light to shine through to get to the juvenile baby leaves to be able to like photosynthesize. So that's something I learned. And you can see right over here, we've got a Setosa gray star plant, but this is a massive one with a butterfly included. Really like that a lot. And right over here, do you want to see how large leaves on a Monstera adansonii can get? Well, you are looking at one right over here. This is amazing. I have a Monstera adansonii I bought from Trending Tropicals Costa Farms, but you could see in the wild, it gets really large leaves right here. And actually you can see right here, you can cut that node right here with that aerial root and propagate that top cutting right there and have a big leaf one. And you can see there's a bunch of aerial roots right over here. Look at that aerial root where you can just cut that around there and get a couple of propagations, because these plants grow so vigorously out in the wild. It's just because they are getting all of the best, you know, the best natural state, the best lighting, and you know, that's really where the plants are best suited for, is in nature. And that's the reason why I think whenever we grow indoor house plants, these house plants that we have require a little bit more, I would just say more work, because of all of, you know, obviously the lighting conditions we provide, the watering conditions, and the pest control. Now, out in the wild, there is natural pest control. So you have several factors that can do it, but indoors, there's really no natural predators to get rid of, like mealybugs, spider mites, thrifts, unless you know, release like ladybugs or some type of beneficial predator for your plants. But in a conservatory like this, they are going to live their best life, because it does mimic what a potential jungle looks like for these plants, and I am here for it. And you can see right over here, we've got some alocasia here. I'm not sure exactly what type of alocasia, but this one has another butterfly. Ooh, it's a blue one actually. Gorgeous looking butterfly. And we have some more ground cover here. So those flowering plants are lantanas. They grow very well in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at, for those that are new to the channel. And you can see here, I'm going to pan over and just show you all of the massive jungle that we are walking through. And then we've got another flowering plant right here of some sort. Look at that, just absolutely stunning. We are looking at some massive mature philodendron. Again, I'm not sure what type of philodendron this is, but notice how like the bottom has changed and gotten very woody. That's what happens with Monstera deliciosa as well. But look at how large this philodendron is. Wow. And we've got more butterflies right over here. This one is really enjoying itself with all of the nectar it's getting from those blooms. And that's the thing about Mother Nature, you know, they all coexist, and they're just living their best life here. This one right here is a Monstera stadliana, or what they call a Monstera cobra. It is also just attaching itself on that, I guess, pole right over there on that sphagnum moss, and those leaves will start to get large as it grows up. You know, Monstera stadliana, it's one of those plants that we see as a trending tropical by Costa Farms. You can find them at Walmart, but you can see that's what it looks like in nature, just straight ahead right over there. And I don't know, there's just so many plants that you can check out at the conservatory, and that's just a small portion of the Dallas Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. I do love the fact that this has existed for decades now, and the maintenance to go take care of this conservatory, I would say, is quite an undertaking. There are a lot of factors you have to think about, like how do they control pest control? You know, you have hundreds of thousands of people that visit this park. What does that look like for pest control? So really curious. I didn't get to ask like a staff member what that looks like, because whenever I think about like bringing plants in, I am always most concerned about pest control, just because I've had some really bad infestations of like spider mites, fungus gnats, mealy bugs. So how do you maintain a conservatory like this where the plants don't have pests? So that's a question I would ask. You can see there goes some bromeliads. And what else do we have here? I do love the water feature that they have. And check this out, plant foliage. Do you see that highly variegated leaf? That is a Dracaena Florida beauty. So we see that as a Costa Farms exotic angel plant in like a 3-inch planter whenever I go big box store plant shopping. Look at how large this actually gets. I love that. Wow. Look at that. That variegation is stunning. Love it. And it is so large as well. And then you can see right over here, we've got some type of alocasia here, maybe an alocasia pink princess, not 100% sure, but that's really nice. And we've got some more plants I want to feature right here. Not sure what that plant is, but look at this. One of my favorite plants, this Dracaena Florida beauty. Love that a lot. And then also this Palea here, look at that. It is a beautiful ground cover, this Palea plant. This is an aluminum plant right here, and look at how large the leaves have gotten. Look at how it's just kind of spread out. These leaves are way larger than what we get at like Kroger. I feature these often because it's one of my favorite plants. I see that at Kroger, which is a grocery store out in Texas, that they sell them for like $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. And you can see here, this has just kind of become ground cover for the jungle. I like that a lot. Wow. And I'm just going to zoom in on that lantana flower. Isn't that a gorgeous flower? And look at that butterfly. It is enjoying the bloom. It's getting nectar from that flower. But I did plant a bunch of lantanas, so we're going to see if I can get them to bloom. It is out in full sun, and I want to feature this plant right here. Not sure what this plant is, but look at the blooms on this plant. Isn't that stunning? Look at that yellow. Is this like a shrimp plant? I'm not sure. Plant foliage, leave it in the comment if you know the plant ID, but look at that. It looks like it was a shrimp plant, so that's really cool. And I'm gonna walk over here. You can see that there is a quarter-line tea plant here, and just more plants to show. There's a croton petra in the background. Here is another coffee plant that they have right over here, and just more plants. You can see that they have really mixed up a lot of these plants, but all of these plants are compatible. Like this is another calathea. This is an Ecuadoriana calathea. Look at that. It's got more subtle, I would say subtle leaves. And most calatheas are a little bit more flamboyant. This kind of reminds me of the Calathea orbifolia, but like a darker version. And we have another plant here. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll pan over to the plant ID. And this one seems to be in bloom. Wow, look at that one right here. Look at that pink bloom as well. I love how that light is just really shining through and illuminating these plants, and these massive palms are just impressive at this conservatory. Right in front of us is a variegated vanilla plant. I like that a lot, and that's where we get our vanilla. It's from this particular plant right here. And then we've got another type of either monstera or philodendron that has attached itself and is starting to crawl up this This tree right here, you could see that the leaves get larger as the aerial roots attach to that tree. So that is really the natural form of a lot of our philodendron that want to climb up a totem pole. They just come up trees and get very massive, get up to heights of like 60 to 80 feet tall. So that's just insane to me. And you can see here, we've got some more trees. Not sure what that is, that massive bird of paradise. So you think about like how bird of paradise can get. And you can see right over here another type of plant. I don't know the plant ID, but I've seen that in a local plant nursery. And you can see just many different types of plants here. You could spend hours actually walking through. This is just kind of like an abbreviated version, trying to do a quick walkthrough. And look at that butterfly right there. That's stunning. And I love the fact that they have butterflies that are so friendly. This one has just landed on somebody's shoulder. So that's kind of funny right here. We're just going to keep looking at some plants as I pan over and show you what we have available at this Fort Worth Botanical Garden. And over here, we've got a calathea fishbone. Isn't that a gorgeous looking calathea? And then just tons of like lantana plants. So you can see the ones that have those blooms are lantana flowers. And look at this. This is a banana tree. Look at how massive that is. And then we've got some hanging baskets of petunias. So, you know, I talk about petunias as being the flower of the hour. You can even find them at a conservatory like the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. And then we've got even more butterflies just fluttering around here. They are literally living their best life, and I am here for it. I'm really happy to have made this trip all the way to Fort Worth. So that's the thing, plant foldies. I know you guys probably want to see what kind of content, you know, they have right over here. And you can see here, we've got some more lantana plants, and it's some type of plant here. I'm not sure what it is, but if you do like this type of content, please make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button. I do daily plant shopping videos, but I'll mix it up and show you guys some plant tourism, show you guys some parks, conservatories, and just other unique features revolving plants. So I hope you've stuck around this far to watch this video. I know this isn't my typical plant shopping video, but I hope you guys also will stick around and watch this in its entirety. I did work pretty hard on this video, so I figured you guys would want to see some plants and some butterflies fluttering around. Look at the yellow veining of this plant right here. Love that a lot. Love yellow plants. You know that if you watch a lot of my videos, I love yellow, neon green plants, dark foliage plants. But if you notice, a lot of the plants here are not variegated. They're just green and they're gorgeous. You can see here another butterfly. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's awesome. There's several of them actually just hanging out. And these are all butterflies sitting on some lantana plants. We've got some fern here, some anthurium, lots and lots of plants. I tell you, if you go to a conservatory and you want to see what plants look like in their natural state, that would be amazing. look at that beautiful blue butterfly right here. It's just hanging out, and you can see the undersides of the wings are a darker brown color. But this plant right here, not sure what it is also in bloom, so it looks to be happy. And actually, a lot of the plants here are pretty much happy because they are getting the best growing conditions. You got to think about how they are planted, what type of lighting they're receiving. I'm sure that they're getting their frequent watering, but not a single plant in this conservatory has any type of like pests. And that's the one thing I would say, how do they do that considering that they get so many visitors here and they're just exposed to different types of people? So you know, if somebody can give me the secret as to how conservatories can, you know, prevent pests from coming to their plants, please let me know in the comments. But you can see right there, that is another mature version of a Cebu blue pothos just growing up that tree. That fenestration is awesome. And you can see that these are tropical trees, but look at that fenestration here. This is highly fenestrated. And look, the aerial roots have attached itself to where you can't even move them. They are literally just getting nutrients and water from that. And that's probably how the tree or how the plant actually gets larger leaves. It's not just relying on its root system in the soil. It's getting it from the aerial roots as well. And you can see over here, we've got a Ficus lyrata, fiddle fig leaf, and it's some type of palm as well right here. They've just got an array of plants. And again, this is one of those conservatories where if you want to be in an indoor jungle, I would recommend going to the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. And you can see this tree right here has all that Cebu blue pothos, and this is a Monstera deliciosa. So that Monstera plant that we buy at a big box store, this is what it looks like in its natural habitat. It attaches to cliffs, rocks, trees, and it just grows up. And you can see how massive the leaves are. And I did want to show you some water. Love me some water. Just staring and listening to water is nice. And then we've got some more calatheas right over here, some ferns, and just lots of plants that we can see. All of the butterflies are just fluttering. We've got some petunia hanging baskets. And then we've left the conservatory, and I wanted to show you guys all of these Phalaenopsis orchids and also the anthuriums that they have available. So we're going to make our way to the Japanese garden, but as we walk through, we're going to be seeing a bunch of plants and trees right here. The Fort Worth Botanical Gardens is one of the most beautiful ones. And look at this flowering tree right over here. They remind me of hydrangeas, like a hydrangea tree, but this is not a hydrangea tree. I will give you the plant ID and the subtitles for that. But isn't this lovely right here? Love that a lot. And look, these white blooms are just fabulous. Fabulous. But before we walk into the Japanese garden, I did want to show you guys how I made a Ficus triangularis I bought at Callaway's nursery, which is a local plant nursery, and actually plant it and make it into a bonsai. So I have my bonsai soil, I have my bonsai pot, my stock plant, which is going to be a Ficus triangularis today. So the first step is to get it out of its soil and get as much of the soil out and just get most of the root ball. Sometimes you actually have to trim down the roots, but this one seems to be not a lot of roots, so it'll be easier to actually fit that into the bonsai pot. What I did with the bonsai pot already is I put some wire at the bottom to where I can actually twist and attach the plant into the actual pot. I've got some bonsai soil mix from the Bonsai Supply off of Amazon. It's a really good mixture. Now, whenever you're growing bonsai, you want to actually get fast draining soil, very coarse soil. You don't want to use like potting mix like this. Otherwise, your plant has a higher chance of root rotting. Bonsai, when it's grown into that shallow form, you really want to make sure that it's got fast draining soil. Now, the art of bonsai, for those that are new to the channel, is basically growing a plant, particularly a tree, in a shallow container and wiring it, trimming it to where it has a very unique and very structural form. So it's basically like a miniature tree. And I was really interested in doing some tropical bonsai. So plants that are not typically deciduous, like maples, where it's literally an evergreen tree. And you can see right here, this is a Ficus triangularis. I love that variegation. And you can see here, I'm going to go fill the bottom of the pot with a little bit more bonsai soil, just mix it around. And now that I've gotten a lot of the soil and the roots trimmed down, I'm going to find the front of the tree. And once I find the front of the tree, I'm going to go set the tree down or the plant down into the pot. You can see right over here. And I have the wiring, so I'm going to wire it down to where it could actually sit. And, you know, if the wind blows or something happens, it's not going to tip over, because you can see that there's still quite a bit of room for the roots to grow. So until the actual tree or the plant that you're making into a bonsai establishes, it's really nice to have them just attached with the wire right here. So plant foldies, I hope you keep stay tuned for this. I like to pepper in different types of clips, kind of like a commercial break. And you can see here, now that I've got it stuck on, I want to go ahead and take a chopstick and actually put some of the soil down. As I put the soil down, I'm going to be using the chopsticks to get rid of any air bubbles. So I'm just going to be very generous with the soil here. Look at that. And you can notice that this bonsai soil is very coarse. It's got a lot of pumice, lava rock, and just things that are not going to retain as much moisture. But, it's one of those things where for bonsai, this really works well. I would also recommend using this type of soil for succulents. They would love it a lot. Succulents and cactus would really benefit from this type of bonsai soil. And you can see right here, I am just trying to get rid of the air pockets. And as you can see, there is a process when it comes to just potting up a tree or a plant into a bonsai container. You really want to make sure you get rid of all of the air pockets. So I am just being careful, patting it down, slapping that pot, and just using chopsticks to really get rid of the air holes and anything like that that would just make sure that all of the roots actually are covered with the soil as well. And now that I've gotten the plant in the bonsai container, I'm just doing some initial pruning, and I'm actually going to take these cuttings that I get and propagate it in water. We'll see if I can get some roots out of it. But with the Ficus triangularis, which is the plant I'm using to make into a bonsai, I'm just getting rid of some of these branches and trying to open up the actual plant. So that's the thing about bonsai. You want to make sure that there is a distinct front and back. You want to get rid of some of these unnecessary branches to get more of a structure. Now, this is just initial styling. It's going to take a while to really get that tree going. You're going to have to grow the trunk out, get these I would say these branches growing as well, getting them to thicken up. But I do want to just trim a little bit back. Now, when you trim back a Ficus triangularis, it will get a little bit more bushy. I do like the fact that this is a variegated one. And now that I've actually trimmed it back, I want to show you how I've wired it. I didn't show that process because it took a minute. So I wired it. I wanted some of the branches to cascade down a little bit more. You can see that it's opened up. And now I am just taking the time to water this completely, really soak the soil in the roots. So what I'm using is actually some silicone solution mixed with some Super Thrive, just so I can get this tree to establish. It's really good to get this tree to establish with that type of solution. I will be watering this plant daily just because it does need the roots to really, start to grow, and you don't want that to dry out completely. I am going to be growing this outside in my front patio. With Ficus triangularis, they love a lot of bright light, and I figured that just growing it in the shaded part of my patio will really give it a chance to develop. I'll probably grow this bonsai outside for the most part. Bonsai are typically grown outside. There are some plants, some tropical plants you could grow indoors. This one, I would definitely do that. And then I'm also spraying the leaves with my preventative neem oil spray that I use for all of my plants. It's also a leaf shine, but the DIY spray that I use is a lot more cost effective versus buying insecticidal soap. So really thankful that I learned the recipe. It's basically a water bottle, and you put 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil, 1 tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide, a drop of dish soap, and shake it up, and then you have that spray. But you can see right here, it's got all of the leaves shiny. It's going to get rid of any potential pest. And now we are going to be visiting the gorgeous Japanese garden in Fort Worth, Texas. And I won't be able to feature a lot of the Japanese garden today just because I am on a time crunch when I actually film this video. So this will just be a quick walkthrough right here. A couple of things about the Japanese garden is they do have festivals here. I love the fact that you can also buy koi food. So if you want to feed the koi fish out on that beautiful waterfront right there, you can get up close and personal with the koi. It's super fun to do that. I've taken my nephews and nieces out here and they really love it. And the Japanese garden again is one Japanese garden that I will visit yearly, maybe twice a year. And another good time to go visit this garden is out in the fall when the fall colors have shown. But with Japanese aesthetics or Japanese gardens, if you notice, there's a lot of simplicity. They use a lot of deciduous trees, evergreens like these pine. You can see right here, look at this explosion of color for all of the Acer palmatum or Japanese maples. They've got azaleas as well. And you can see right here, look at how gorgeous that red Japanese maple is right here. I don't know the particular cultivar, so I'm not even going to attempt, but you can see that the yellow foliage against the red background is absolutely stunning. So whenever I talk about how I want to have a Japanese garden in my backyard, this is kind of like the inspiration for it. Very simplistic forms, and just even the Japanese maples that they have here, these are massive. Now these are several decade old trees. Like Japanese maples are very slow growing. Some are a little bit more vigorous than others, like some of the green Japanese maples, but even so, they take a while to grow, and there is a certain elegance about it. The Japanese aesthetic when it comes to even house plants, like if you see some of those Japanese content creators for YouTube, they have a different aesthetic when it comes to their their plants. I love that, you know, Japan has a rich history of hybridizing plants as early on, and you can see even in just the forms, the way they prune the trees here, the way the trees look, the way that they're set in the landscape. It's really nice, and there's just so many ways to view a certain angle, and I think that's the reason why Japanese gardens are very popular, in the sense that any angle you view the Japanese garden, you will discover something different, and I love that a lot. So I'm gonna, you know, just pan over here. I'm actually on the upper side of the Japanese garden just to see if I can get some aerial views, and look at us right here. I'm not gonna do too much talking. I'm just gonna have you walk through with me and enjoy the scenes. And you can tell that everything in this Japanese garden is very manicured. You know, Japanese gardens also have some type of water feature, whether it's literal water or an arrangement of stone that mimics like a river or a waterfall. And those are, you know, I'm not an expert of just Japanese garden aesthetics, but what I do know is it's one that I've always been into. You know, it goes to the realm of me loving bonsai and just Japanese maples. It is a different type of growing. It's a little bit more complicated than what it seems like, even though it's very simplistic as well. So if you haven't already made it to the Fort Worth Japanese Garden, you should definitely do that. It is a sight to behold. And you can see here we've got a peach tree that was kind of mimicking, you know, cherry blossoms, and we've got even more Japanese maples here. All of the shrubs that they have are actually manicured and really cut in a specific shape, and I really like that a lot. But you can see that if you ever need a place to just relax and really, you know, meditate or just find peace, go to a Japanese garden. Go to a Japanese garden like this. Go in the morning when the sun isn't too intense. Go during the spring when you have that spring breeze. Feed the koi. They have a bunch of koi in that water, and you can get up close and personal with that as well. But I'm going to pan over here and just show you how gorgeous this is. I haven't even made it to the upper part because I am in a bit of a rush, but did want to show you a little bit of what the Japanese garden looks like in Fort Worth, Texas. I always like to walk on those stepping stones right over there. I think that that's really fun to feed the Japanese koi. And you can see how massive this Japanese garden is. It's one of the largest Japanese gardens in the country, and it's one that a lot of people will visit. Some years it looks better than others. Like, it depends on our summers. If it gets super hot, some of the Japanese maples end up getting a little bit of leaf burn. But in the spring, as all of this new growth comes out, this is one of the best times to visit, as well as the fall. You get so many different colors here, and it's just one of the perks about, I guess, living out in Dallas Fort Worth. You know, we get a lot of nice plant shopping videos, plant shopping nurseries to go choose from, and we have gorgeous parks like this. Look at this garden. I just love it. And even just that focal point of that red Japanese maple is stunning. And I'm gonna go pan over here again and show you all of the other features they have. They have a little pagoda right there where you can have some tea. And yeah, this is just a beautiful day, beautiful spring 2024 day to check out the Japanese garden. I know you just saw how I made a bonsai, but a lot of the Japanese garden is basically a massive bonsai, if that makes any sense, that all of the trees are meticulously taken care of, placed in a certain way, placed in a certain angle. Lots to really be said about the Japanese garden and the aesthetics behind it. In many ways, a Japanese garden is definitely very minimalistic, but the complexity of just even how they've trained that particular pine to have that shape, it's mind-blowing to me because there's very subtle nuances, and those subtle nuances actually contribute such a beautiful focal point for a lot of the garden as well. And even just the colors and just the types of plants that they select, it's amazing. It looks like, you take a trip and teleport to Japan. One of my dream destinations is to visit Japan someday. And you can see right over here, I'd love to be able to grow a dogwood tree. Look at how nice that is. It is in bloom. And we are about to exit the Japanese garden. There's just a couple of more features I wanted to show you at this botanical garden. But hopefully you guys have liked it. If you haven't already, please make sure you are hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel with the notifications. I typically do plant shopping videos, but I will take you on a field trip, some plant tourism, to show you guys, places like this. And you can see there is a whole wall of honeysuckle. Love that. I have a couple of neighbors that grow it. And then look at this Japanese maple right over here as well. I just love how the leaves are illuminated by the sun and they just dance around. All that lighting is amazing. Love it a lot. I have one growing in my front yard as well, and when the light hits it, it is absolutely stunning. I'm hoping that I can get a lot of these trees to establish in my backyard, and we're just going to walk over here, and I want to feature this beautiful flowering tree here. Like, this is amazing. It looks like it is covered in snow, and I like that a lot. So plant foldies, I hope you enjoyed our little quick field trip to the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. I gave you a little bit of a glimpse of what you could see here. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, please check it out, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.